We got Rise of the Ronin review. Let's see.
Rise of the Ronin confounds me. On one hand, it's an action game
Will Borger.
cut above most of its peers. It takes place
Why does he sound so mysterious?
fiction world with cool characters. It has entertaining co-op and sports plenty of neat little flourishes that make traveling through its map, completing missions, a lot of fun. On the other hand, it's heavily weighed down by the forces of the all game. Bloat, the stereotypical Ubisoft map with tons of icons to clear, and an outrageous amount of loot.
Oh yeah,
with meaningless
just like Neo.
Upgrades. If
Just like
developer
Neo.
Team Ninja had used its razor-sharp katanas to cut the weaker bits that only dilute its strength, Rise of the Ronin might have become more than the sum of its parts, rather than less.
Maybe this guy acts so mysterious because he's like a Souls veteran. That's why they put him on the review for it.
Rise of the Ronin is set in mid-19th century Japan, just after Japan is forcefully reopened to the world. Your Blade twins are kind of blank slates, letting you customize the pair in a robust character creator, and then sending you on a mission to sneak aboard the black ships from America and assassinate Commodore Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
It's a compelling opening that quickly establishes the kind of game Rise of the Ronin is, and doesn't waste your time getting you right into the action. The story gets much grander than that, of course. You'll meet historical figures, join a pro or anti-shogunate faction, and make tough decisions during one of the most interesting eras of Japanese history, though your choices can only rewrite history so much.
Do you two happen to know this man? Could you kindly stop him bothering me?
If you have a fondness for the period, it's fun to pal around with the fictional versions of Genzui Kusaka and Sakamoto Ryoma.
We could just climb it, then go swoosh right in.
How does one swoosh exactly?
That said, Ronin's story is the video game equivalent of a fun popcorn movie. Enjoyable while you're watching it, but easily forgotten the moment the lights come back on several dozen hours later.
I had hoped to see you. You finally come back to propose, haven't you?
Actual missions are a bit more memorable. They're either encounters you enter and complete seamlessly on the world map,
Who the hell are you?
or as standalone missions a la Ninja Gaiden or Neo, where your protagonist and a pair of followers, who you can switch to at any time, take on a unique objective like breaking a friend out of prison or assassinating a government official. The latter allows for either single player with AI teammates or co-op with two friends joining up as your allies.
Oh, I see. So it is story mode.
Mostly unremarkable open world tasks.
I'm short of wood. Could you gather some for me?
And being able to play them with friends is a fantastic addition.
That's super
My main
cool.
complaint here is that I wish the two modes weren't so intertwined. It's a bummer to be playing with a friend and do a one-off mission, only to then have to do a couple more by yourself before you can play together again.
Oh yeah, that does suck.
Rise of the Ronin is at its best when you're
Of course.
swords.
Yer.
Wield
What up,
katana
Don?
like a traditional samurai, but you can also use the quick and flashy paired swords, the massive high damage Odachi, a western saber, and a lot more. I like almost all of them, but my go-to quickly became the double whammy of the oxtail sword and the greatsword, which allowed me to live out my Michelle Yeoh in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Siegfried from Soul Calibur fantasies.
Oh my god.
simultaneously. Each weapon type comes with several fighting styles, all with their own special techniques. Styles follow a kind of rock, paper, scissors balancing structure, with a couple of exceptions. So picking the right option to beat whatever your opponent is doing will help you out considerably. The downside of this system is that some weapons benefit from it more than others. The katana has 8 combat styles to choose from, including
Damn.
one that's based off of Ryu Hayabusa's moveset in Ninja Gaiden, Izuna Drop and all.
Oh, dude, that is
Paired
cool.
Swords and my beloved oxtail sword
What?
only have 3 or 4, though what's there is excellent. The quickest way to take someone down is to choose a combat style that beats theirs and wear down their ki until they're staggered and land a critical hit that deals tons of damage. Throw in secondary weapons like bows, guns, smoke bombs, and even a flamethrower, and Rise of the Ronin gives you a lot of freedom in combat.
How did they not rate this
Also
high?
manages to look and feel good while doing
Womp
it,
womp.
especially if you
What's
dismount your
up?
opponent with a critical hit as a grand finale.
I already know what the rating is. I think it's a 7.
Even
Is
a
what?
regular run
Isn't that what you guys said?
send you packing. If they do, you respawn at the last bonfire. I mean, Site of Grace.
No.
I mean, Veiled Edge Banner you interacted with.
Veiled Edge Ban.
Minus the karma you've gained from defeating enemies, with a vendetta against the enemy that killed you. If you slay him, or even land a critical hit, you'll get your karma back, creating a high-stakes duel against a worthy opponent. It's a nice change of pace from the traditional Souls-like system where you just pick things up off the ground. Without spoiling anything, yes, the boss fights are fantastic and difficult in true Team Ninja style. They move fast, force you to learn their attacks, and reward you for using advanced mechanics. You can just dodge and punish as you would in most Souls-like boss fights, but you'll be missing out. The real trick to dispatching foes is Counterspark, which works as an attack that also deflects your opponent's attacks, staggers them, and opens them up for counterattacks. The more advantageous your style is against theirs,
Yeah, it's like
the longer you can
Sekiro.
open the enemy up for punishment.
They didn't give it a higher score because the genre is oversaturated. There's not a lot of innovation. However, this game is great. Yeah,
But the potential reward is
I mean, I agree. There has been a lot more Souls
adding a
games,
grappling rope,
Souls-like
things
games
Violent
coming
Blow,
out.
Blade Flash, which allow you
But
to
still.
change the style mid-combo, and clean the blood off your blade after an attack to restore keys.
If it's good, it's good. You can't get,
Plus some other mechanics.
just because there's games like it doesn't make it not
Rise of the
good.
Ronin has a lot of depth, and you'll need to mine it to win. I went through
Damn.
the classic stages of feeling most bosses were unfair and impossible, to feeling they were beatable if I played carefully and got a little lucky, to demolishing them, or barely scraping by, once I learned their patterns. It's an exhilarating feeling, and it never gets old.
Well, if you're intent on
It does look good.
that,
They saved the 9 and 10 for innovative games.
fight me instead.
Another great idea is the upgrade system, which rewards you for choosing how you want to play both in and out of combat.
Course.
Each of the primary stats comes with its own skill tree, and putting points into one also boosts the stats associated with it. If I level up my Speechcraft Liar ability in the Charm tree, I also get a stat increase in Charm, which makes my weapons that scale off of that stat better. Similarly, there are side quests that increase your character bond with the people you meet, rewarding you with additional conversations, upgrades to any styles associated with that character, and weapons, gear, and items. And then there's the Longhouse, your home away from home, where you can chat with your friends,
Oh, that Daishita there is one fine-looking lady.
redo your character's appearance, respec your skill points, decorate, and a lot more.
They're just like Neo.
Later on, you'll also get the ability to go back in time via a book called The Testament
Good
of
point.
Souls,
Good point.
and redo missions,
Not always accurate.
make new choices that can alter the present, and finish up any stuff on the map you may have missed. It's genuinely one of the best systems I've ever seen in a game like this, because you can advance the story, which takes place over several years and across several different maps, without worrying that you've missed something by crossing a point of no return. It's also cool that you can see what happens if you let a certain character live or side with a different faction without a whole new playthrough. I just wish everything
So there's a way to
as
do it
these
without
systems
starting
do.
all
The
over.
entire package feels as
That's dope.
overstuffed as the loot pinata enemies, who are always dropping mostly useless gear.
Yeah, but you just sell
If
it.
you're not constantly in your menus getting rid of it, you're likely to end up holding several hundred weapons, armor pieces, and items by the end of a few missions. Team Ninja tries to alleviate this by letting you upgrade items you like and disassembling ones you don't
Yeah.
for parts, but it doesn't work well enough to hold back the avalanche of largely pointless stuff that is constantly getting thrown at you. Even the side activities are
Yeah,
easy.
Neo was part.
To
It's
be
always
very
like
clear,
this.
I love
Neo,
fighting cats. There's a
Wulong,
cute little scene with them.
they all have that.
Interacting with the pilgrim dogs, who I would gladly die for.
It's like a Diablo thing. Yeah, you just got to make sure that you're
I like the
emptying your
photography
inventory.
missions,
It
getting
is what it
skill points
is.
for finding shrines, the
I
shooting
don't see that as a problem.
visiting real-life landmarks, and even developing new technology with inventor Igasaichi Izuka.
You must have the inventor's spirit.
It's
Just make sure you're emptying your
these things
inventory.
Are bad per se, but when the reward is even more loot or filling up another reputation meter, I just wasn't interested after a while.
Please accept this as a token of my gratitude.
To be fair, these tasks are mostly optional unless you need to grind levels, but they all seem tedious next to using your grappling hook to scale a rooftop and assassinate somebody, or scaling a tower with your buddies and whooshing into a walled prison on your glider.
Look at me! I flew like a bird!
Verdict. We already know it's a 7.
Rise of the Ronin marries a cool historical
I'd give it higher, probably. I haven't played it, though, so I don't know.
Combat,
It
and
looks
smart RPG
awesome.
design to make a game that is immediately compelling and fun with friends. It's full of.
I think
little
it's like
touches,
world by
whether it's throwing
world.
something at an enemy with your
As you said, it
grappling
goes
hook
year
or
by year.
Dropping from your glider onto
So
your
I'm gonna
horse.
assume it's like
Unfortunately,
one
it's
year
also
you're
a
in
game
one
full of
area.
map clutter, bloated systems, and a truly.
The next
absurd
year you're in
amount
another
of
area.
Rise
I
of the
know
Ronin
we
is
can't play it because we don't have a
excellent
PS5, but
to be itself and lean into
One day.
challenging, rewarding fighting.
One
So
day,
often,
hopefully.
However, it feels stuck in indecision, torn between being what
it
it
looks
wants to
open.
be
Looks very open
and
world.
what it feels it's expected to be. And not even the best samurai can
They gave it a good. A good.
For more,
Not a
check out
great.
reviews of Dragon's Dogma 2 and Final Fantasy
Gave it a
VII
good.
Rebirth. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
And me for reacting to them with you. That was the review of Rise of the Ronin. I think I'm gonna disagree, but just hopefully, you guys can play it and have your own opinion, because obviously, sometimes the reviews are not all what they're cracked up to be, as we've discussed.